I scored 98% in my 10th boards, and yes, the first thing that comes to your mind when someone says this is that she probably studied the whole day, had a perfect routine, and did everything right. Yeah, no. At first, I did a lot of mistakes in the beginning, and the change did not come from doing more things, but it came as I stopped doing a lot of things during my 10th preparation. So here are 5 things that I did wrong during my 10th preparation and which I do not want you guys to do. So the first thing that I stopped doing during my 10th preparation is studying at random hours in a day. So I used to study whenever I felt like it before. I used to take my textbook and then start reading a line 6 or 7 times, and I still wouldn't understand the meaning. At this point, I was just emotionally connecting with my book. However, later, after a lot of research, I realized that it is scientifically proven that each of our brains functions properly during different hours in a day. For example, when I was back in 10th, my brain actually worked really well between 5 to 7. So I used to do the subjects that I felt were hard, example math, social, etc., during those hours, and then the rest such as homework and everything, I used to do them at night or in the morning, etc. So you are supposed to find your productive hours in the day and concentrate in those hours. So after I started doing that, I actually understood things a lot better, which was a nice change. So the second thing that I stopped doing was making long and unnecessary notes. Trust me, if the textbook had 10 pages, my notes also had 10 pages. At some point, I had to ask myself if I was writing notes or if I was rewriting the entire education system. So long notes are not important at all according to me, and short notes are really important, and those short notes are supposed to include only key points, examples, formulas, or anything that feels important to you that you can refer to in your future preparation for CBSE, etc. These notes will really help you in case like you have to cram before a test and there are like so many textbooks. So in my short notes, I literally went through like 200 questions each from different websites and collected all kinds of questions or points that I felt were important, and I made note of all of them, and I revised before my subject board exams. So that really helped me a lot. The third mistake I stopped doing was following those perfect routines online, like waking up at 5 a.m, doing this, doing that, etc. First thing, waking up at 5 a.m felt like a personal attack to me, and secondly, it did not work for me. So you're supposed to find and make your own routines by yourself. Copying the other routines will not help you because those were made by students for their own sake, not for you. So you're supposed to make your own routines and you're supposed to follow them strictly. Fourth thing that I did was I just stopped writing more and started solving more questions. I understood that personally, when you read a book, and reading a book and solving questions on the paper are two very different things. So yeah, if you're supposed to read the concept, then you're supposed to read the textbook like 4 to 5 times and then try to understand it and do everything that you do. But then when you're supposed to solve questions in the exam, like especially for maths or science, like physics, etc., you're supposed to solve questions. You have to solve millions of questions, because when you solve those many questions, you can understand how to approach the question in different ways, and it will improve your logical skills and how to think in different ways. So that really helped me during my board. The fifth thing that I did is, it's really simple, but I stopped comparing myself to others. Yes, there's always this guy or a girl who's done with the syllabus and is revising for the 100th time while you're still stuck negotiating with chapter 2. And trust me, comparison does not make you feel better, it makes you feel way worse. So just focus on yourself, focus on your own development or progress, even if the progress is slow. And trust me, in the beginning, I did not know how to solve even one question, but I started working on myself and I focused on myself, and though the progress was slow, I was able to solve a lot of questions. So these are the 5 things I stopped doing. And hi, I'm Riddhi, and I hope you really like the content today. And I would be sharing a lot more important content like this, actual and real content that I have faced during my preparation for 10th boards in this channel. Thank you for watching the video, and if you have any doubts or any questions, please drop them in the comment section and I will try my best to answer them in the coming videos. Thank you.